Have you ever wondered what happens to those who have committed terrible acts after death? Do they go straight to hell? Or is their punishment something we can't even imagine? Today we'll talk about the journey of evil souls and what happens to them after death. Life Review. Mirror of Life. After death, every soul undergoes a process called a life review. Simply put, it's a holographic mirror in which a person revisits their entire life. But there's a twist. This review isn't like watching an old video on TV. In this, the soul has to experience every event from the perspective of another person. Imagine if someone hurts someone, they must endure that pain themselves. If someone betrays someone, they must feel that same heartbreak. And if someone takes someone's life, they must feel the victim's heart until the last beat. This process sounds like punishment, but it's actually a lesson because the soul has to understand how its actions affected others, its effect on evil souls. Now the question is, what would this experience be like for an evil soul? Imagine the soul of a person who has been torturing others all his life. When he goes into life review, he suddenly has to relive his own actions from the perspective of each victim. It's like rewinding a movie over and over again. But here it's not a movie, it's pain. Compared to the torture of hell, this pain is so intense that it breaks the soul. The soul begins to disintegrate. Stuck souls. Often these evil spirits are unable to move forward. They remain trapped in the same cycle of life review. Imagine a person hurts 100 people. Now their soul must experience the pain of those 100 people, one by one. And if they refuse to admit their mistake, this process will never end. Such souls are called stuck souls. They are trapped in a prison of their own making. They relive the same scenes again and again, hear the same screams again and again, until their minds are ready to learn. This entire process of life review and stuck souls teaches us a profound lesson, that the real hell isn't out there somewhere, it's within us. Our actions both punish and liberate us. Now imagine if, after death, we had to relive our lives through the eyes of others. Would we commit actions we regret today? Or would we commit actions we could be proud of? Come, let us know now. Can a soul be broken? And if a soul is fragmented, where do those fragments go? Do they simply get lost, or do they begin to interfere in someone else's life? Today we'll talk about fragmented souls and shadow possession, the phenomenon when evil spirits remain undisturbed even after death. Fragmented souls, shattering of the soul. After death, when the soul faces the consequences of its actions, sometimes this process becomes very painful, especially for those souls who have committed evil throughout their lives. When every sin, every crime, and every suffering is revealed to them one by one, the soul cannot bear it. This is the moment when the soul begins to break. This is called fragmentation. Imagine a large mirror shattering into pieces after a strong blow. Each piece is small, but it holds a glimpse of the entire picture. In the same way, when the soul disintegrates, its pieces also separate, carrying with them the qualities and memories of that soul. Now the question is, why does the soul disintegrate? The soul fragments when the burden of remorse, shame, and negative energy becomes too great. Just as a person's mind fragments into many parts when they experience intense pain or trauma, the soul itself is unable to handle the burden. Each fragment is filled with the same emotions that were most intense before death or during life. Some fragments contain anger, others greed, others fear, and sometimes shameless indulgence. This is why these fragmented souls are often dangerous and unbalanced. Now the question arises, when the soul disintegrates, where do these fragments go? They neither remain fully alive nor completely disappear. They simply wander around in this incomplete, imperfect form. Sometimes they become attached to places, like old battlefields, prisons, or homes where violence has occurred. Sometimes they connect with the energy of living people. And the most frightening thing is that these fragments often begin to function independently of their true soul. In other words, these tiny shadow fragments become their own separate little souls, but filled only with darkness. These are what people call ghosts. You may have heard many times that visiting certain places suddenly makes one feel heavy, or being with certain people causes unexplained anger, fear, or sadness. Sometimes this is due to the effect of a fragmented soul that has become attached to a person or place. For example, a person was very violent in their life. His soul disintegrated after his death. Now a fragment of it has been attached to a new person. That person was initially peaceful, but gradually began to drift toward violence and anger. This is actually the subtle effect of that fragmented soul. Shadow possession. Shadow possession. This is where shadow possession begins. It's not a possession that screams loudly or scares you, like the ghosts in the movies. It's a very subtle and cunning one. For example, a person might suddenly feel such a wave of anger or hatred that they themselves don't understand why. Or a person might repeatedly commit the same wrong act, as if someone is pushing them from within. Often, all this is the effect of the same shadow fragment that is stuck to their soul. This possession gradually changes a person's thinking. They first make small wrong decisions, and then start committing bigger sins. And the most dangerous thing is that it makes a person believe that all this is his own wish. Now let's talk. Deceivers of the soul. Who are they? Every soul undergoes a life review after death. Here it experiences every good and bad deed it has ever done. But deceivers circumvent this process. These souls are very clever. Just as a criminal conceals the truth in court, tampering with evidence, and thus escapes, deceivers lie to their own minds. They say, "I did nothing wrong. It was my right. If others suffered, what is my fault?" By doing this, these souls avoid the true lessons of the life review. Deceivers distort their thinking so much that they feel no guilt, remorse. These souls portray themselves as victims. "I did wrong because I was forced to. The others were fools, I just took advantage of them." This way she justifies her crimes. And once the soul denies guilt, it escapes the trap of life review and moves on. Reincarnation strategy, new birth, old game. Now the question is, what do these souls do when they escape? This is where deceivers prove most dangerous. These souls strategically plan their next life. If they previously desired power, they will be born as leaders, kings, or politicians. If they enjoyed controlling people's emotions, they will become gurus, teachers, or religious leaders. If they found joy in torturing others, they will be born into a home where they can easily find innocent victims. This means that the deceiver's goal isn't just to survive, but to return even more powerful next time. These spirits are the most dangerous in the world because, on the outside, they appear kind, helpful, and trustworthy. But gradually, they reveal their true colors, they win people's trust, and then exploit that trust. History bears witness. There have been countless rulers, leaders, and religious figures who appeared godlike on the outside, but turned out to be cruel and ruthless on the inside. People worshiped them, and they slowly tore society apart from within. Because they didn't just spread evil, they spread it disguised as good. Common evil is easy to spot, but when someone pretends to be good, people automatically follow. This is the deceiver's true weapon, deception. If you observe, often the same mistakes are repeated generation after generation within the same family. Like alcoholism, violence, or cheating. This isn't just passed down through blood or DNA. Sometimes it's a pattern of the same soul, born again and again into the same family or society. Similarly, you'll see some people gradually become corrupt. First, small dishonesty, then bigger lies, and gradually their entire life turns evil. Learnings and conclusions. So the question is how to avoid this. The answer is self-awareness. When we deeply understand our emotions, face our fears and anger, no shadow can easily overpower us. Soul-shattering and shadow possession teach us that the darkness within us is our greatest weakness. If we recognize and balance our shadow side, no external shadow can affect us.